All right, well, we'll get started. Welcome and thank you everyone for joining us here today. My name is David Carroll and I'm the Executive Director for the Greater Englewood Chamber of Commerce. This is the last webinar in a series to help businesses with the safer at home guidance. We've had some great talks and support from the City of Englewood. In fact, today we have Council Member Cheryl Wink that will start us off with a few words of support. Cheryl?
Thank you, David. Hi, everyone. Here we are kicking off the month of June. And today, June 2nd, the Greater Englewood Chamber of Commerce, as David said, along with the City of Englewood, have designed yet another webinar with resources and guidance for you, our business community, to support your success amidst the coronavirus pandemic. You may know that our last webinar addressed signs and graphics pertaining to social distancing, and we're pleased that this webinar has been now viewed by 2,000 individuals. Not only are the webinars proving positive impact within the community, but the city and the chamber are working on several additional measures to support business success during COVID-19. 1, we're supporting the reopening of restaurants, bars, and cafes by encouraging the erection of temporary patio areas in parking lots, as well as both paseos in the middle of the 3400 block of Broadway. We are also considering temporary closures of streets and/or alleyways to facilitate patio spaces. For the East Paseo, as an example, the city has recently purchased patio furniture. This is but one step in the many efforts being undertaken to support restaurants, bars, and cafes. Another measure by the city is the temporary suspension of local regulations to include parking restrictions, which now allows for increased feasibility to operate a food truck or to stage a farmer's market within the City of Englewood. Finally, financial mechanisms to support business recovery have been leveraged already by many businesses in Englewood and remain available. I'm pleased to say that to date, the city has dedicated over $500,000 to support business recovery during this global pandemic. A quick recap of the available funding. A, the city recently expanded the small business recovery grant amount such that new applicants are eligible for grants totaling $4,000, and previous applicants who were awarded $2,000 can now apply for an additional $2,000 in funding. B, nonprofit organizations may now apply for a grant ranging from $2,000 to $5,000, an amount which is calculated based on your annual revenue. Finally, or C, reopening and marketing grants are also available to assist with marketing and advertising efforts needed to reopen. And these grants are being issued in amounts of $500, I beg your pardon, $500. So in closing, I want to thank you for choosing to do business within the City of Englewood. And if beyond the resources you learn of today, we can help with anything else, please feel free to reach out. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Cheryl. And as Cheryl has said, if you haven't already applied for some of these grants, make sure you reach out either to our website or the city's website. They've been very helpful. I've heard from many of our business owners and leaders out there that have been so grateful for the support of the city and how that's all come about. So again, thank you. In our previous webinars, as Cheryl had mentioned a couple, we had talked about touchless payment systems. I still find that word a little hard to say. We learned about new features on Facebook and Instagram that will allow us to quickly start an online store. We've talked about signage and how you might use it, signage in the restroom and elevators to keep your employees and your customers safe. And we've also talked about masks from local creatives to branding or messaging on all kinds of PPE. So today we finish by talking about a healthy workspace. And what does that mean? The guidance states you need to monitor the health of both your employees and customers. And to that end, we've started to see more and more use of what I'd call forehead thermometers. And so we've asked Netta Garcia from Vanguard Pharma to share some options. Netta?
Yes, thank you, David. I am just going to share my screen here. And also thank you, Cheryl. That was very endearing and platform. Thank you. Let's see. Let's share screen. I think I got it right. There. Here we go. Okay. So a lot of businesses have reached out, the city of Englewood being one, looking for consultation on PPE and best practices. And so for those of us in the pharma and medical world, we're happy to step into those circumstances and provide our expertise. The infrared thermometers are a 1-second measurement temperature system. These are utilized in medical sectors, in your major hospitals, as well as your clinics, urgent cares, even your family practice doctors. A lot of them will do the touch forehead, but the nice thing about the no-touch thermometers is you can do an 5 to 8 centimeter distance and still read the temperature of a person. So you don't have to touch them. You can step back, and that's why it's called no-touch forehead thermometers. These are a couple of examples of the models that we use. There are 6 major performances to these type of thermometers. So a lot of people ask, well, why do we want this versus just a regular digital thermometer with a plastic sleeve that you can throw away? And the reason why is it's a 1 key temperature mount, which means the person operating the thermometer only really has to press 1 button. So there's not several like there are on the digital. It has an integrated probe, which means it shows you a light, kind of like a beam almost, towards where you're getting the temperature gauge, whether that be on an infant near their temporal ear, or if you're directly going on an adult near their forehead. The measurement is in Celsius and Fahrenheit, so it's easily to be used in Canada or anywhere they're utilizing different temperatures. There's a black lit display, so these are very nice in parking lots or dim areas like a parking garage. So, you don't have to stand there with a flashlight. You'd be able to see very clearly in light or dark the temperature reading. It contains memories. So say, for instance, you have less than 30 employees within your office, you can set the memory so you can actually on a 30-day basis print out the average temperature of one of your employees and kind of gauge when and if they got ill and when the temperatures began. This is also a lot of information, and I'm happy to consult anybody who has any more questions, so feel free to reach out to me. As well, it has an automatic power shut off, so you guys don't have to worry about turning it on and off. You can take a temperature and set it down and not have to worry about it running out of battery. Common thermometers often have problems, and so some of those is why I wanted to put this together for you and show why it's different to have the infrared no-touch thermometers versus just your regular digitals. There has always been reading trouble or no memory storage on the digital therm. So if you don't read it right away and set it down, it won't remember that last temperature, whereas on an infrared, it will. You're eliminating cross-contamination. You're also not exposing the community to the mercury, and it's a little bit more accurate than your baby digital thermometers. So few more details. I don't want to bore you guys too very much. It's a 1-second temperature hold. It's no contact. All of them will say contact and no contact. So remember that you can still contact the skin on these, but the no touch thermometer measurement is the way to go at this time. Also, it does take temperature of milk. I know you guys don't need any of that. That's more of a medical standby, but again, you can switch from Celsius to Fahrenheit. It shows an LCD display. So these are infrared LED monitoring. So like I said, you can see it at night in a parking garage. It's very easy in a stairwell. Any dim places, you won't have any problems. The batteries, you do have to use batteries and do have to switch those out every 7 days. There are a couple of infrareds out there that are USB charged. I don't recommend those at this time, just because you have to, worry about charging those and battery changing is a little bit easier on the go. It does have a fever alarm buzzer, and like I said, these do record up to 30 people. So if those small businesses only have, less than 30 people and employees, you can keep a good log. Vanguard Pharma is happy to help anyone with the single size infrared thermometers. So please go ahead and feel free to reach out to me. This is all just, and David, I don't know if you guys need all of this uploaded or not, but we do have 3 different types of digital thermometers that we're utilizing. This one's our most popular digital thermometer. It's the iHealth PT3 model. And our other one that is very popular is the infrared, and this is an LED screen that you'll see. And it comes in blue and red, I believe. So just some neat things out in the market to help you. But like I said, if you have any questions or if I can help consult, please feel free to reach out to me. And thank you so much for having me.
Great. Thanks. Thanks, Netta. Our next presenter you may recognize from our virtual coffees. Alisa Hamel is the account executive at FASTSIGNS Englewood. When I was, I got a little bit of a funny story. When I was talking with Alisa about protective shields, I said, the only thing I can think of for a shield is like a shower curtain. And she said, well, let me show you the shower curtain we're using here in our own office as a protection between cubicles. So I guess it wasn't as goofy as I thought. But I think with that kind of creativity, I thought that Alisa would be a great person to share more options on what your business can do. Alisa?
Yeah, David, thank you so much. I did think also that the shower curtain was a kind of a silly way to do it, but once it's installed, it looks really great. So, and we will talk about that a little bit more in detail in just a moment. I am going to share my screen with you guys and kind of run through some options for desk shields or safety guards, etc. So here is our office here. We have 2 workstations, and these are just going to be some pictures of some ones that we've done. We've done safety guards. They're completely customizable, so we've done them in all shapes and sizes. But this is what we've done for ours. We've, labeled it to remind clients to, stay back behind the shield. And then over here, this one is a little harder to see because it is so crystal. Oh, I went too far. I went too far again. So this one right here, big rectangular space here when there's a little cutout right in the middle. That's to pass money through or paperwork, whatever you would need. Over here on the right hand side, this is another customizable option that we did for the city of Littleton at the permit counter. They are gorgeous. You can go through and check those out if you're ever over at the permit counter. And we also have some options for restaurants, salons, etc. These modular systems, you can connect these together. So every display is 36 wide by 92 tall, but they're magnetic, and so you can make your walls wider or shorter. They're great between a cubicle space, or how they're using them here, where you need them singular, depending on the size of your tables or the space that you're trying to work with. And then here's our shower curtain. So right up here at the very top part of the screen, you can see our clear shower curtain. We put a logo on it with a vinyl decal, put some grommets in it that you would typically use for a banner, and we hung it from the ceiling. And that is what David was talking about. And whenever I first heard it, I thought, goodness gracious, okay. But it works perfectly, and it's exactly what we needed for this strange space where we have a tall ceiling, or a short ceiling and a tall wall, and it worked out great. We can also do safety shields for people's faces. So here you have some PPE that we can use. I don't know, some people feel that they need some extra protection. Our installer, he wears one of these whenever he's out doing an install. Restaurant personnel can use one if they feel that they just want that extra protection now that they're working with the public. And then, of course, I know that we're talking about safety guards, but we are more than FASTSIGNS, more than signs. So floor graphics, banners, all kinds of social distancing aspects. And I'll just flip through these fairly quickly. Everything is completely customizable, and we can help you with any kind of project that you might have in regards to safety and visibility. For instance, this first image here on the left, this is the entrance to our store. Masks required upon entry. Can't come in without a mask. And if you want a custom face mask, then of course I'm wearing one right there in that picture. And bathroom reminders to wash your hands and to remind all your customers to wash their hands. And there's our contact information if you need anything from us. And that is it.
Great, thank you, Lisa. So it seems, as we'd heard with when we did the webinar on signs, and that you've shared as well, that both, I mean, with every business has their own unique kind of situation. So one of the best ways for someone that needs one of these shields for their business and whatever that might be is to consult with you, reach out, and you guys can really develop possibly anything that somebody would need. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the best way to do it would be to contact us, and then someone from our sales staff will come out and consult with you at no cost, go over the appropriate sizes, challenges, and then put together a quote. Everything is custom, so we can make them as fancy or as simple as you need them to be. Great.
Well, thank you all. This is a lot of great information. We will put this out on a website, the web, and let me share this last part here. Usually when we share this last screen, we're telling you about the next one, but that's it. So we want to thank all of our local business members and community for being so supportive and helpful in sharing the information that they know so our businesses can move forward and better understand these safer at home guidelines. Thanks, everyone. Bye.